Hi everyone, I'm Courtney from Yoga Body Mind Soul. Welcome to day 5 of the Return to You challenge. Today we'll be returning to peace. And so we'll really be slowing things down for a restorative yoga practice where we'll be holding poses for several minutes, really letting our body relax into each pose so that we can take rest and give ourselves some time to reset and rejuvenate. For this practice, you will need a blanket, and any type of throw style blanket will do. And so if you don't have a blanket nearby, feel free to hit pause, take a moment to grab a blanket, and then come back, and we'll be here when you return. So we will begin with our blanket, and we're going to take the blanket and open it up a bit. And so it's about this shape. One side will be a little bit longer than the other. And then we're going to roll the blanket up. So we want to have the shorter side of the blanket facing you, and then make a tight roll right from there. Making kind of a burrito shape here with your blanket. And then you'll take your blanket behind your hips and leave a couple of inches, maybe 2 or 3 inches, between the back of your hips and the beginning of your blanket roll. And then bring the bottoms of your feet to the ground. And we're going to start to lay right back here on the blanket so that the blanket hits the lower back and the natural curve of the lower back, but the hips are still down on the ground. So we definitely want the hips and tailbone on the ground, and you can adjust if you need to. If this feels like a bit much, you can sit up again and then unroll your blanket a little bit so the roll is a little smaller, and then the degree of back bend will be less. And so you can choose here if you want to keep your knees bent or let your legs straighten out away from you. Your elbows can just relax above the blanket roll, taking the backs of the hands out to the side. And then let yourself settle in here and take rest. First, allowing the muscles of the low back and mid back to soften into the blanket. Feeling a little lift in the belly, supported by the elevation of the blanket. And then some gentle openness across the fronts of the shoulders, the width of the arms, and the hands out to the sides. Using every breath in to create a sense of peace and ease within yourself. And using every breath out to release tension. to let go of any physical or mental stress. Inhaling peace and exhaling tension. You might even find it helpful to open the mouth with the exhale, letting it go with a big sigh. We'll take our last inhale. And with the exhale, if your legs were straight, bring both feet back to the mat. And then bend your right elbow, and your right arm will be a little pillow as you roll over to the right side. And then press yourself up to sit. And we're just going to adjust the position of our blanket here, taking it up a little bit higher. And this time we'll be laying back so that the blanket roll hits right across the back of the shoulder blades, near the bottoms of the shoulder blades. So again, knees can be bent as you come down to lay, with the blanket right across the bottoms of the shoulder blades. And here you'll already notice that the upper arm bones and tops of the shoulders are not on the ground. And that's what we want here. So they'll be kind of moving down with gravity, but not touching the mat. And then bring your elbows above the blanket roll. Your arms will be a little bit higher here. And again, you can expand your arms out to the sides. You might even stretch your hands and arms up a little bit higher if that feels good in your chest. Making any and all adjustments you need, so that you can find stillness in your pose. And as we settle into this stillness, that's where the body really begins to slow down all of the internal systems. Anytime we need to move and adjust, the body wakes up a little bit. So we want to try to minimize that as much as possible. Feeling here how the blanket roll supports the heart, bringing a lot of openness around the area of the chest. With an open heart, we're more able to give and receive. As we work with this idea of creating peace for ourselves, you might consider your self-compassion, your self-forgiveness. Using every peaceful breath in to realize your wholeness, your completeness in this moment. If you find any resistance to resting here, try to come back to a peaceful inhale and a releasing exhale. Softening more and more through your face. Letting the sides of the eyes relax. Softening around the space between the eyebrows. Releasing through the cheeks. So that it almost feels like the cheeks are just melting down through the sides of the face. Relaxing all around the neck. Letting gravity draw the sides of the neck down toward the ground. And then we'll start to move out of this pose, bending one knee at a time if the legs were straight. And then for our next pose, we're going to roll over to the left side, right as we are. So you can stack your hips and shoulders on top of each other. The left elbow and arm can bend so that the left ear and the left side of the face just rest down on your arm. And then the blanket roll is going to land right under the left side of the rib cage. The knees are bent here, making sure that the hips feel comfortable. And then there's a couple options with the right arm. One would be to keep the hand down alongside the hip so that the arm just rests alongside the body. Another option is to turn the right hand up and then reach the right arm up overhead. The fingertips could come to the ground, but if the arm doesn't reach, it can just drape over the side of the head. Or you might even bring something underneath your right hand. Another option would be to take the back of the right hand to your lower back, inviting the right shoulder to open as you draw it back slightly. And so find your version of this side body opening pose. And then let yourself move into the stillness. And as we breathe here, we'll try to make the exhales a little bit longer than the inhales. So just notice the length of the inhale, and then draw out the exhale even more. Start to bring your right hand back up to the right hip if it wasn't there already. And just pause there for a moment. And then we'll shift all the way to the other side, rolling through center. And then arranging ourselves to lay on the right side of the body. Right elbow will be bent. Letting the right side of the face and the right ear rest down into the upper arm. And then the knees will stack, the hips will stack. And the left arm first just comes alongside the body. Maybe the left arm stretches up overhead, either resting the fingertips on the ground, maybe the hand on some sort of support, a stack of books, or a yoga block. Or the left hand can come behind you, of the hand to the lower back, drawing the left shoulder back. Feeling a sense of ease as the breath flows. Every breath in, creating more peace. Every breath out, feeling the support of gravity. Noticing how that support helps you release a little more. Start to slide your left arm back alongside the body. The hand can turn down to face the hip. Resting here for another moment or so. And then we'll bring the left hand to the ground and use that to press up. And we'll just take the blanket roll off to the side so that we can rest in relaxation, Shavasana. Legs can be straight. If you'd like a little extra support for your lower back, it might be nice to take your blanket roll underneath your knees. And then the hands can turn to the ground, palms face up, backs of the hands on the ground. Settling into Shavasana, deep relaxation pose. Surrendering into the peace within yourself. Start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. And deepen your breaths as you start to move a little bit more, stretching out through the arms and legs. Then we'll bend the knees one at a time, drawing the knees into the chest. Giving the legs a little squeeze, maybe rocking side to side. And then when you feel ready, let's press up to a seat. Closing our eyes as we come to seated. Feeling the effects of our practice and the peace that exists within. Recognizing that you were able to create this peace for yourself. As you breathe in, let's reach our arms out and up. Take our hands together at the top and lower them down in front of the forehead. May we think clearly. Inhale. Exhale your hands in front of your mouth. May we speak truthfully. Inhale and exhale, hands in front of the heart. May we hold peace in our hearts. From my heart to yours, namaste. Okay, thanks for sharing this practice with me, yogis. I hope you feel more peaceful and less stress after this slow restorative practice. Thank you also for joining me through the Return to You challenge. I really hope that you enjoyed this challenge and this time to reconnect with yourself. If you found this beneficial and enjoyed these videos, please take a moment to subscribe to my channel, to like this video, and leave me a comment below. I'd love to hear about your experience. I look forward to practicing with you again soon. Namaste.